$7,000. Most people think that buying a gamble. But the market is still wrong if you know where to look. These 8 Japanese cars sit under the radar because buyers chase badges, SUVs, and hype. Number 1 is the plain 4-cylinder sedan I would still trust with real money. Number 8. 2008 to 2012 Mitsubishi Galant. Nobody brags about a Galant at the gas station, and that is exactly why this sedan stays cheaper than it should. When most buyers have $7,000, they search for Camry, Accord, Civic, Corolla, or some tired crossover with cloudy headlights and bald tires. The Mitsubishi gets skipped because the brand does not carry the same comfort tax anymore. It looks plain, old, and rental car basic. That weak image is the opportunity. I would not buy the Ralliart 6-cylinder if the goal is low-cost ownership. I would look at the regular 4-cylinder Galant, especially the 2.4-liter engine with a conventional automatic, because that setup is simple, predictable, and not trying to impress anybody. Current market pricing is the whole reason this car starts the list. Normal 4-cylinder examples can still show up around $2,500 to $6,000, depending on miles, rust, title history, and records. A clean same-era Accord or Camry can easily cost $2,000 to $4,000 more, and that extra money is mostly name recognition. The Galant gives you mid-size room, a real trunk, basic controls, and a drivetrain most independent shops can understand without special tools. Is it as refined as a Camry? No. Is the interior as nice as an Accord? Not usually. But if the goal is cheap Japanese transportation, not driveway applause, this car makes sense. The mechanical reason it belongs here is the stress level. The 4-cylinder does not have to move a giant SUV body. The automatic is a normal unit, and repairs usually fall into ordinary stuff like brakes, mounts, suspension, leaks, batteries, and sensors. Inspection checkpoint. Feel the automatic shift quality after the car is fully warm. It should pull away clean, shift without a hard bang, and settle down at highway speed. Then watch the idle. If the whole car shakes like a washing machine, tired engine mounts may be waiting. Check oil leaks, front suspension clunks, and uneven tires too. One more reason it stays ignored is age. A dealer can dress up a small crossover and make it feel modern, but a Galant just sits there looking like yesterday. That helps you. You are not paying for fashion. You are paying for a DRI engine bay, clean shifts, and records. Service the transmission fluid, keep oil changes boring, and replace worn mounts before the car feels worse than it is. Choose this car when you want the lowest entry price on this list and you care more about basic Japanese transportation than badge respect. The next car is smaller, stranger, and ignored because the brand left America, but the hardware is tougher than people think. Number 7. 2007 to 2013 Suzuki SX4. Forgotten brands scare lazy buyers, and that is why the Suzuki SX4 can still be a smart little bargain. People remember that Suzuki left the American car market. Then they assume every part is impossible, every repair is weird, and every listing should be avoided. That fear pushes them toward overpriced Toyota, Honda, and Subaru listings, even when the Suzuki is sitting there for less money. The SX4 also looks narrow and awkward, so it loses the beauty contest before anyone checks what it actually does. Current market prices often land around $3,000 to $6,800 for normal examples, with many live cars under $7,000 if you avoid low-mileage collector clean pricing. A similar year, Subaru Impreza or Toyota Matrix can cost thousands more when clean, especially if buyers want all-wheel drive or hatchback usefulness. The SX4 gives some of that small car practicality for less cash. I would focus on early manual or 4-speed automatic cars because the 2.0-liter 4-cylinder is straightforward, and those simpler transmissions fit the cheap ownership story better. Later CVT versions require more caution, and this channel is not about pretending risk disappears because the price looks friendly. Why does it belong on a Japanese reliability list? Because the basic engine is not exotic, the car is light enough, and the simple versions do not bury the owner under luxury electronics or big tire bills. It is a city car with a little bad weather confidence, especially in all-wheel drive form. Do not confuse it with a truck. It is not a snowplow, and it will not make poor tires safe. But it parks easily, sees traffic well, and can handle rough weather better than many small front-drive cars. Look hard underneath, especially in snow states, because many SX4s lived exactly where all-wheel drive was useful. Rust can turn a good deal into damage fast. Listen for wheel bearing hum, suspension knocking, and brake grinding. Also, make sure the clutch or automatic feels smooth, not lazy or slipping. The parts fear is also overblown if you shop smart. Brakes, filters, plugs, belts, and suspension parts are still out there. The real trick is not buying a rusty one from the salt belt with every warning light glowing. A clean, cheap Suzuki beats a famous car with excuses. Use the correct fluids, keep brakes and tires fresh, and price common service parts before assuming the brand is impossible to maintain. Choose this car when you want a small Japanese car that parks easily, costs less than the obvious picks, and can offer cheaper bad weather confidence. Next is the mid-size sedan that drives better than the boring choices, but gets punished because it is not a Camry or Accord. Number 6. 2009 to 2013 Mazda 6-1. Some sedans feel dead before you leave the lot, but the Mazda 6 still has a little life in it. That is why I like it under $7,000. Most cheap Japanese sedan buyers start and end with a Camry or Accord. If they cannot afford those, they usually drop into Civic, Corolla, or some crossover with more miles than common sense. The Mazda gets treated like the other option, and older Mazda rust memories scare people off before they drive one. That is where the deal starts. The 2009 to 2013 Mazda 6 i4 cylinder is the version I would shop. We are talking about the 2.5-liter four-cylinder with a manual or conventional automatic, not the thirstier six-cylinder route. Current market examples, especially around 2010 trims, can be found around $4,000 to $6,500, with some cleaner or higher trim cars pushing above the line. A similar clean Accord or Camry can run $7,000 to $10,000, and buyers still fight over them because the names feel safer. The Mazda gives midsize room, sharper steering, and a more alert drive for less money. The mechanical reason it belongs is simple balance. The four-cylinder is not overcomplicated, the transmissions are normal, and the car avoids the heavy crossover penalty. It feels more planted than many cheap sedans, and that matters if you actually enjoy driving but do not want luxury repair pain. In the shop, these do not scare me when the underside is clean and the fluids look right. The danger is rust and neglect, not some mysterious engine curse. Check rear wheel arches, rocker panels, subframe areas, and the underbody before you fall in love with the steering. If the structure looks crusty, the deal is already getting risky. Then check engine mounts, suspension clunks, and transmission shift quality after a warm drive. Service transmission fluid, keep coolant fresh, replace worn suspension pieces early, and buy decent tires because this car rewards a stable setup. Cheap tires can make a good Mazda feel broken. I would also look for the boring owner, not the coolest listing. The best Mazda 6 under this money is the one with normal wheels, matching tires, and service papers in the glove box. A sporty sedan becomes costly when a previous owner treated every stoplight like a race. Choose this car when you want a Japanese sedan under $7,000 that still feels sharp, steady, and enjoyable without turning ownership into a premium bill. If you want cheap cars checked by years, engines, prices, and real repair risk, subscribe. We do not worship badges, we check the parts that actually cost money. Next is the Toyota, which people forgot because it looks like a wagon, but the cargo room makes small SUVs look overpriced. Number 5. 2003 to 2008 Toyota Matrix. The Matrix gets ignored because buyers do not know what box to put it in, and that confusion keeps it valuable for the rest of us. Sedan buyers think it looks like a wagon. SUV buyers think it is too small. Corolla buyers forget it shares the kind of Toyota hardware they already trust. So while people overpay for little crossovers with tired brakes and high miles, the Matrix sits in the background doing the practical work quietly. Realistic current prices for many 2003 to 2008 examples run around $4,000 to $7,000 depending on mileage, rust, and records. Clean, low-mile cars can go higher, so stay disciplined and do not chase museum pieces. A similar year RAV4 can cost several $1,000s more, and even clean Corolla sedans can bring stronger money because shoppers understand those labels faster. The Matrix gives Corolla-style reliability with a much better loading story. Fold the rear seats and you get a small Toyota that can handle boxes, tools, luggage, pet gear, folding chairs, small furniture, and college move-in loads better than a sedan trunk. That is the part buyers miss. They see a funny shape instead of a cheap life tool. The mechanical reason it belongs here is the 1.8-liter Toyota 4-cylinder with a manual or 4-speed automatic. It is widely understood that parts are everywhere, and most shops have seen the setup many times. This is not some rare Japanese oddball that becomes annoying to repair. It is Toyota simplicity wearing a more useful body. I would avoid treating all trims the same though. The plain 1.8 is the budget hero. The hotter versions can be fun, but they are not the point of this list. Check rear hatch leaks, wet cargo areas, rocker rust, oil seepage, front suspension clunks, and the condition of the rear seat folding hardware. A Matrix often gets used like a mini moving van, so look for signs it has worked hard and been maintained lightly. Keep oil changes consistent, service transmission fluid, replace worn struts, and do not ignore coolant seepage, because heat can kill even a Toyota if an owner gets lazy. Choose this car when you want Corolla-like dependability, but you need more cargo flexibility than a sedan can give. This is also the car for people who keep changing their needs. One month, it is a commuter. Next month, it will be helping move a chair, a bicycle, or a stack of storage bins. A sedan asks you to plan around the trunk. The Matrix gives you more flexible options. The real win is not status. It is buying one car that can commute all week, haul real life on Saturday, and still park like a compact. Next is the all-wheel drive sedan people skip because they are busy overpaying for crossovers and Outbacks. Number 4. 2005 to 2009 Subaru Legacy 2.5i. Here's the Subaru deal people miss because everybody is hunting Outbacks, Foresters, and WRX dreams. The Legacy sedan does not look outdoorsy, does not have the wagon image, and does not make buyers feel like they joined a mountain lifestyle. That is why it can be one of the cheaper ways into Subaru all-wheel drive. Current prices for many 2005 to 2009 Legacy 2.5 sedans still land around $4,000 to $7,000 when mileage is normal, and condition is honest. Clean, low-mile cars can climb over budget, but the regular driver examples fit the promise. A similar year. Outback or Forester can cost $1,500 to $4,000 more because the wagon and small SUV shapes are hotter. The Legacy gives the same basic bad weather mission for less money. I would only shop the non-turbo 2.5-liter cars. No GT turbo. No modified exhaust. No lowered suspension. No owner who says it only needs a tune. The simple, naturally aspirated flat 4 with Subaru all-wheel drive is the version that belongs on this list, but the buying process has to be stricter. Timing belt and head gasket history matter. This is not the cheapest car to maintain, and I will not lie about that. It belongs because the right one can be a stable, useful, bad weather sedan for less than the crossover crowd is paying. Drive it fully warm, then check for overheating, sweet coolant smell, oil leaks, bubbles in the overflow tank, and mismatched tires. If the coolant story feels wrong, leave. If all 4 tires do not match closely in size and tread, budget tires immediately, because all-wheel drive wants equal rolling diameter. Keep matching tires on all corners, service coolant, replace timing belt components on schedule, and do not ignore oil leaks until they become expensive. The mechanical reason it belongs is the straightforward non-turbo setup paired with permanent all-wheel drive. It is not fast, but it gives wet road and snow road confidence without jumping into SUV pricing. Choose this car when you need all-wheel drive under $7,000, but you do not want to pay the Outback or Forester tax. For a buyer in Arizona or Florida, I may skip it and buy something simpler. But for somebody in snow country, the value changes. A Legacy on good tires can feel more secure on wet hills than a front-drive sedan. And that confidence is why people overpay for Outbacks. Just remember, cheap Subaru ownership is not about luck. It is about records, cooling system health, and tires. If this saves you from overpaying, subscribe. We find the overlooked years, cheaper repairs, and boring cars that still make sense. Next is the rougher Nissan that gives light SUV practicality without the Toyota truck tax. Number 3. 2005 to 2006 Nissan Xterra. Rough, thirsty, and honest can still be better than soft, overpriced, and fragile. That is the Nissan Xterra story. Buyers chasing Japanese SUVs usually search the 4Runner, CR-V, RAV4, and Pilot first. The Xterra gets pushed aside because it looks old, rides trucky, burns more fuel, and does not pretend to be a smooth crossover. That is exactly why it can still work under $7,000. Realistic current prices for many 2005 to 2006 examples run around $3,000 to $7,000, depending heavily on rust, miles, transmission history, and four-wheel drive condition. A similar year, Toyota 4Runner can cost 2 or 3 times more, and even older CR-V and RAV4 listings can run higher, because buyers trust those names immediately. The Xterra gives real utility for less, but you do not buy it casually. The mechanical reason it belongs here is the 4.0-liter 6-cylinder and body-on-frame layout. That gives real SUV toughness, not crossover pretending. It can handle camping roads, snow driveways, light towing needs, dogs, dirty gear, and bad pavement better than most cheap cars, but the warning is serious. Some automatic models from this era had risk from radiator and transmission cooler contamination, so radiator history matters. Manual trucks, or automatics with documented radiator updates and clean transmission fluid, are the safer plays. Check frame rust, radiator replacement history, transmission fluid condition, four-wheel drive engagement, rear axle leaks, timing chain noise, and coolant condition. If the automatic fluid looks like a strawberry milkshake, walk away fast. That is not a bargain. That is damage with tires. Replace or verify the radiator, service transmission fluid, differential fluids, transfer case fluid, and keep the cooling system clean. Choose this car when you need real SUV toughness under $7,000 and can accept fuel cost, a truck ride, and a stricter inspection. Fuel cost is the trade-off, and we have to say that clearly. If your commute is 60 highway miles a day, this is not the smart pick. But if you need trailhead parking, fire roads, winter traction, and a vehicle that can take dirty gear, the Xterra starts making sense. This is not the pick for someone who wants silent comfort or 30 miles per gallon. It is the pick for someone who needs a vehicle that feels like a tool. The market ignores it because it is not polished. Smart buyers look past that and inspect the hard parts. Next is the full-size Toyota sedan nobody talks about because everyone is chasing Lexus comfort money. Number 2. 2005 to 2006 Toyota Avalon. The Avalon is what happens when Toyota builds a big, quiet sedan and the used market forgets how good that can be. Younger buyers call it an old person's car. SUV shoppers ignore sedans completely. Lexus shoppers pay more for the badge. Camry buyers forget the Avalon exists until they sit in one and realize it feels calmer, wider, and more comfortable than expected. That leaves a big Toyota hiding in plain sight. The best target under $7,000 is the 2005 to 2006 Avalon XL, or XLS with normal miles and a clean history. Realistic examples can show up around $5,500 to $7,000, while cleaner, low-mile trims will climb above budget. A similar year, Lexus ES can cost $2,000 to $4,000 more, and newer Camrys with similar comfort often bring stronger money. The Avalon gives near Lexus comfort without Lexus pricing, and that is why it belongs here. The mechanical reason is the 3.5-liter Toyota, 6-cylinder, and 5-speed automatic. When maintained, this setup is strong, smooth, and relaxed. It is not working hard. That matters in a full-size sedan. You get a quiet cabin, large seats, highway stability, and enough power without turbo complexity. Check for oil leaks, timing cover seepage, dashboard warning lights, suspension noise, and smooth automatic shifting. Also test every power seat, window, mirror, climate control setting, and radio button, because comfort features are only nice when they work. Use quality oil, service coolant, change transmission fluid, and stay ahead of struts and mounts because a worn Avalon loses the whole quiet car advantage. Choose this car when you want full-size comfort under $7,000, and do not care if younger buyers call it a grandpa sedan. For the right buyer, that insult is the discount. Do not confuse comfort with weakness either. A clean Avalon can eat highway miles in a way small, cheap cars cannot. It feels settled at 70 miles per hour, the seats are wide, and the cabin stays calmer. That matters for anyone who drives far and hates feeling beat up. The Avalon is not exciting, and it will not make you look young. Good. You are buying quiet miles, not attention. It is perfect for a commuter, older driver, rides to doctor visits, long highway trips, or anyone tired of compact cars beating them up on rough pavement. The market forgets sedans like this because crossovers are fashionable. Mechanics notice them because the bones are familiar Toyota bones, and the driving experience feels expensive for cheap money. Number 1 is the Honda nobody should ignore if they want the safest all-around Japanese buy under $7,000. Number 1. 2003 to 2007 Honda Accord 4-cylinder. The Accord is not some secret name, but this exact version is still undervalued because buyers chase newer Civics, overpriced Camrys, and anything that looks like a crossover. Older Accords get judged as too old, and the bad reputation of some 6-cylinder automatic cars scares people away from the better 4-cylinder versions. That creates room for smart shoppers. The target is simple. 2003 to 2007 Accord LX, EX, VP, or SE with the 2.4-liter 4-cylinder and a manual or conventional automatic. Realistic current prices run around $4,000 to $7,000 for many examples, depending on miles, records, rust, and transmission behavior. A clean, same-era Camry or newer Civic can push higher money, and a newer Accord often jumps past $7,000 fast. This older 4-cylinder Accord still gives mid-size space, strong parts support, good fuel economy, and daily comfort without asking for fancy car money. The mechanical reason it belongs is the K-Series 4-cylinder. It is one of those engine shops that know parts stores support, and owners can keep alive with steady oil, coolant, and transmission service. It avoids the higher-risk 6-cylinder automatic story and gives one of the best mixes of room, economy, and repair familiarity in this budget. Check automatic shift quality, oil leaks, motor mounts, front suspension clunks, air conditioning performance, and rust around rear wheel arches. If the transmission bangs, flares, or delays when warm, do not talk yourself into it. Change oil regularly, service transmission fluid, keep coolant fresh, replace worn mounts, and do not ignore overheating or AC problems because small neglect becomes costly when an old car is driven every day. Choose this car when you want the safest all-around Japanese sedan under $7,000 with room, repair support, fuel economy, and long-term daily use. It is number 1 because it proves the whole point. $7,000 is not just gambling money. If you shop for the right Japanese car, the right engine, and the right condition, you can still buy years of honest driving. The Accord also has one advantage that matters in real life. Every shop knows it. If it breaks on a trip, you are not teaching a mechanic what the car is. You are ordering normal parts and getting back on the road. That kind of repair familiarity is worth money, especially when the budget is tight. The buyer's mistake is thinking every old Accord is automatically good. It is not. A neglected Honda is still a neglected car. I want cold start manners, clean fluid, straight braking, and proof that the transmission was serviced. If the seller says Honda never needs anything, that is your warning. The famous cars are not always wrong, but the market often prices them as if they were magic. This 4-cylinder Accord is not magic. It is just proven, simple, roomy, and still findable if you are patient. Subscribe for reliable cheap car picks. simple inspection checks, and buyer rules that protect your wallet before a bad deal follows you. Buyer cheat sheet. Under $7,000, you are not buying perfection. You are buying the best risk. Galant is the lowest price sleeper. SX4 is the forgotten small car wildcard. The Mazda 6 is a driver's sedan. Matrix is the cargo flex Toyota play. Legacy is the cheap all-wheel drive answer. Xterra is the rough utility pick. Avalon is the full-size comfort bargain. Accord 4-cylinder is the safest all-around buy. Do not shop by badge alone. Shop by engine, transmission, rust, records, and how the car behaves when warm. The forgotten Japanese car with a clean history beats the famous one with excuses. My last rule is simple. Do not spend the whole budget on the car. Keep money for tires, fluids, brakes, and the first repair. A $7,000 car with no backup cash becomes stressful fast. A $6,000 car with inspection money and fresh maintenance can be the smarter buy. Also, never confuse a famous badge with a clean history. The owner matters as much as the logo. If the car has rust, warning lights, hot smells, bad tires, or missing records, the deal is not ready. Walk away calmly. Another one will show up. Patience is cheaper than repairs, and patience wins more used car deals every single time. Also, compare the total cost, not just the asking price. A cheaper car that needs tires, brakes, fluids, mounts, and rust repair may be worse than a cleaner car listed $500 higher today. The best deal is the one that survives the inspection, and the first month without new panic later. Click the next video before you spend $7 grand. Some Japanese bargains are still hiding in plain sight. Subscribe for cheaper years, reliable picks, and real checks.